everyone. If you are new to my channel, please click the subscribe button and the little bell so you get notifications when I have new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, welcome back and thank you for joining. This video is about some of the things I've been teaching recently in my emotional rehab course about shadow work and emotional pain body. So often people don't understand why they have patterns that they have. And I want to explain to you one of the main reasons people join my courses and one of the main reasons we have these patterns. There is very specific ways to heal these patterns, but first we have to do the inner work. Please watch the video. So, people usually find my work when they have a pattern in their life that they want to end and they don't know how. But what I want to explain is that patterns are in place to protect us from feeling pain. Think about it in your life. What are you doing? And what is the purpose of what you're doing? Sometimes we are not even conscious of it. You know, I guess the easiest way for me to describe the work that I do is to use myself as an example, which is, I don't know, not the safest thing to do, but whatever. I feel like a lot of coaches and healers and therapists and people out there aren't really being as vulnerable as they could be. And I think when we are vulnerable in our own story, we engender the participation of others to be vulnerable in their own and sort of being that example. So I'm going to share a little bit of my story with you about ending painful patterns. I personally started doing like digging into this work 10 years ago when I noticed I had this relationship pattern of I would sabotage relationships. That was the thing. And by the way, for many reasons, not because, oh, this is a great relationship and I want to sabotage, but I want to go into that. For me personally, I would sabotage relationships that weren't working for me and I wasn't strong enough to leave, number one. Or I would sabotage relationships with people that really were in love with me and it didn't feel comfortable. And so for those two reasons, which a lot of you can relate to, that whole fear of abandonment and fear of enmeshment, I'm going to tell you the core, the root cause. First, I want you to see that if this is you, the reason you are sabotaging is because A, you don't have strong enough boundaries to really trust what you're feeling. Or you're sabotaging because you don't believe the love that you're receiving because you yourself don't love yourself as much as they love you. So it feels weird and icky and like, ugh, go away, I don't trust you, right? I hear this from a million clients all month long. This is just the pattern. So why am I sabotaging? Because I don't love myself enough. Why am I sabotaging? Because I'm not strong enough to stand in my own boundaries. This was just me. Now, a version of me, but part of me. And so what did I do? I decided, what am I afraid of? I'm afraid that maybe this person will love me so much and they'll find out I'm not as lovable as they think. Because that was my childhood programming. My childhood programming was I'm not lovable. There's something wrong with me, right? So many of us have this on so many levels for whatever reason. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I don't want to end this thing that's unhealthy because then what? What will happen, the uncertainty, the unknown. Many people come to me and have this pattern because they're afraid of change. They're afraid of being alone, which is so often the case for people. They're afraid they won't do better. Nothing even this good will come along, so I'll just settle or I'll just hang out. No, right? So ending these relationship patterns that are really never going to get you to where you want to be, which is safe, secure within yourself, loving yourself, standing in yourself, being an integrated version of yourself, what we have to do is go into that pain. So, me personally, what was so painful about this relationship? Why was it so painful to end? Why was it so painful to accept? You can't be all in, you can't be all out. What is that? And the missing piece is always you. So what I did for all these years is got to really, really know me, the ins and outs, the shadow work. What do I think isn't enough? Let me go into that and look at it and explore it. Is it enough though? Or did I buy into the opinion of someone else, or my projection of someone else's opinion, my idea of what people might have been thinking? Especially me as a highly sensitive kid, I would take everything on personally when really a lot of it had nothing to do with me. It's other people's shit, right? So I got to really look at all parts of me and say, but do I agree with this? Or was, let's say, my father leaving, was that really about me at all? Well, a lot of kids take divorce on very personally. And when I got to go through all those things and realize, no. And even if it was about me, he might be wrong, right? This is just worst case scenario. Even if someone leaves your life and it is about you and you're lovable, well, that's about them then. Because truthfully, if you're a lovable person and you wouldn't leave you, and you know that you're great, and you know that you're worthy, and you know that you do good things in the world, and you are a wonderful friend, and a wonderful daughter, and a wonderful sister, and a wonderful brother, and a wonderful human, why would you take on someone else's decision as because of you? We internalize shame a lot, self-blame. Internalize shame. It's because of me. It's because of me. That shame makes us want to hide. What I like to teach and what I had learned is I would look at the parts in my shadow. I would look at the parts of my emotional pain body. What's an emotional pain body? Just as review, emotional pain body is habitual experiences of negative emotion that never got dealt with in the moment. So they are energy, stuck negative emotional energy. As we look into our emotional pain body and we validate the feeling, we understand why it's there, we ask it what it wants to say, we love it back to ourselves, integration, and we release the negative experience that never got processed. We get to process with ourselves. We get to be with ourselves in this way that no one else was. And it takes work and it doesn't happen overnight, but it's part of it. The shadow work, which is also, it's pretty connected. Shadow work is all the reasons I've come up with of why I'm not lovable, why I can't be in a successful relationship, why I can't let this person love me, why I have to sabotage. Look at all those things. And when I personally brought all of my things into the light and realized, actually, I would love myself anyway. Actually, that's not even true. Actually, that can be changed. Actually, whatever. There's nothing anyone can do to shock you out of loving yourself. See, we're so afraid to own our own sense of self and love because we think, what if we're wrong about it? Because of the things in the shadow. What if part of my shadow comes out and someone sees it and then they leave me? But if everything that you're afraid of you put into the light, there's nothing to shock you. If someone doesn't like something that's in your light that you already love, you're not going to leave yourself when they leave you. You leave yourself and abandon yourself when other people reject you because you believe that they might be right about you because your shit's not conscious. It's in the shadow. And anything in the shadow is uncertain, so maybe they're right about me not being good enough. But if you see all the things in your shadow that could be possible I'm not good enough. Well, why would that be? And we go through all these things. When we get intimate with our shadow, we realize that we are intimate with ourselves. So if other people don't want to be intimate with us, we're not going to leave ourselves. We're going to say, oh, wrong person. Not, oh, I'm wrong. See the difference? So back to the point, in my course, Emotional Rehab, we deal with all of this because people have patterns so they avoid pain. The pain we're avoiding is either in our emotional pain body or in our shadow. And when we can really get intimate with that emotional stuff and really heal it in a structured approach and learn how to self-validate and learn how emotional intelligence works, we don't have to fear other people because we're not fearing ourselves. So, ending negative emotional patterns in relationships is about ending any sort of issue with you. The other person is you. If you love yourself, you won't leave yourself. And if others leave you, it won't be about you. Take that in. Check out Emotional Rehab below. Please share and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you soon.